Hello and welcome to lesson number 32 of the series Learn to Play the Violin with Me, where I play the role of both teacher and student. Make sure your violin is tuned and your bow is rosined, and we'll get to it. The 15-minute timer is started. At the end of our last lesson, we were on page 21 of the Essential Elements Violin Book 1, and we were looking at number 73, Buckeye's Salute. We had gotten through line 1 and also gotten through line 2, but we hadn't put line 2 together yet. So for a warm-up, we are going to review line 1 a couple times, nice and slow, to remind ourselves of what rhythms and notes are in this piece, and then we will continue working on line 2. Nice and slow for our warm-up. We're doing line 1, so we're starting on high D. D. 1, 2, ready, and... rest. Let's try that again. One thing I have to remind myself to do is not to be afraid to use a lot of the bow. I get self-conscious a little bit, I think, of like, oh, is this next note going to be right? And I tend to it slows down my bow. That's like my reaction to it, which can add to the shakiness that you might hear if you listen to me play. So I just need to just go for it. If I'm going to make a mistake, I might as well make it loud and confidently so that I can really make sure I hear it so that I can correct it. Let's try it nice and slow, and let's all use more bow this time. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. Okay, thinking consciously about that really actually helped improve my tone, and it wasn't as shaky this time. Let's look at line number 2. We are going to play measures 5 and 6, the first 2 measures of line 2, nice and slowly. If you look at the last 2 notes in measure number 6, it's G to B. Remember, that's a tricky thing that we have because we're switching fingers and switching strings. So be conscious of that, and then we'll kind of drill that little 2-note pattern a little bit. But first, let's try measures 5 and 6. 1, 2, ready, play. All right, let's stop there. Let's play G to B a few times in a row. G to B, that's the 3rd finger on the D string, followed by the 1st finger on the A string. So we are rotating our hand and wrist to get from the D string to the A string. So we have to remember that as well. Remember, 3rd finger to 1st finger. Let's just try that a few times. G, B, ready, play. G, B, ready, play. G, B, there we go, ready, play. G, B, ready, play. G, B, ready, play. G, B. All right, let's try that again. I think my G was a little flat. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. G to B. Ready, play. G, B. Ready, play. G, B. Ready, play. Ready, play. Ready, play. Ready, play. Ready, play. Ready, play. All right. The reason we did it so many times in a row is because I wanted to make sure I played it correctly 3 times in a row. Remember, at the end of every lesson going forward, I'm going to have some practice tips for you. So if there's anything in the book that you want to go over more than just our time together, there are some helpful hints for you while you're practicing on your own. And I think number 5 on that list is to drill a part that you might be having trouble with so that you can play it correctly 3 times in a row. You can, by chance, accidentally play it correctly once. 2, okay, get lucky. But 3, that is more evidence that you actually know it and that muscle memory is working. So we played it about 72 times in a row right there because I kept messing up my angle and I kept playing 2 strings at once. So I wanted to keep going until I played that G to B correctly 3 times in a row. Let's play measures 5 and 6 one more time before moving on. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, looks like that drilling worked because the G to B sounded good. I hope it did for you too. Let's look at measures 7 and 8. Let's try those. See what we remember from last time. Starting on open A. 1, 2, ready, and. Ooh, that last D was sharp, which means I should have slid my finger back toward the scroll a little more. Let's try that again, measure 7 and 8. That's what I'm going to focus on this time, is really listening by ear to make sure that my notes are in tune, and not my knee-jerk reaction is always to look at where my hand is, but I have to remember not to rely on my eyeballs, but my ear to make sure I'm playing the right notes so that I can keep my eyeballs on the music. It's measure number 7. 1, 2, ready, and. Rest. Let's try that again. Measure 7. Ready, play. Rest. All right, it's time to put line 2 together. Starting on open D. Nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. About halfway through that line, I remembered, oh yeah, I need to be using more bow to get a smoother sound, and so I adjusted and it worked. So sometimes tapping in and consciously focusing on one aspect for a specific run-through can really be helpful, because you bring it to the forefront of your mind and you can work on that particular skill for that run-through. It is time. Let's try to play the entire thing. Before we do, let's remember a few things. Number 1, the bow lift at the end of line 1. So your bow lift during that quarter rest. So it's 2 down bows in a row, which is why we're doing that bow lift. In measure 6, that G to the B, remembering to change the angle, adjust the angle of our left wrist. Going nice and slow. Slow with a steady beat is always, always, always better than fast but with mistakes. So let's try to slow, steady beat, and we can always add speed in. But that's the last thing that you want to add in. We are going to get it up to moderato by the end of this lesson. Exciting stuff. Let's try it at the beginning, nice and slow. D. 1, 2, ready, play. rest. Rest. Okay, that was an okay run through for me. I hope it was even better for you. I am going to work on using more bow. I'm going to work on putting a little bit more pressure on the bow, but not too much. I want to keep it in a straight line. I'm kind of drifting back and forth, which isn't great. So that means I want to add a little bit more pressure, but not too much, and it starts to sound scratchy. So finding that fine balance is really tough, but something that we're working on. Let's try it again. There weren't any major hiccups in terms of notes or rhythms, so that's good. We kept a steady beat the whole time. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Wow, sorry. I played low D because my bow angle was incorrect. I'm sorry. Here we go. Let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. I was really happy with my G to B transition. I almost started laughing because I was just so excited. That's one of the really cool things about learning something new. It's been a long time since I've been a beginner at something. Being a musician, I just focus on the piano and the ukulele. Both I've been playing for a while. So starting something really new with all the frustrations that there are also moments like I just experienced where I got really excited when I did something right. It was like, oh my goodness, that actually worked. So I can officially say today, if somebody would ask me, did you do anything to make yourself proud today? I would say yes. I played G to B really beautiful. Maybe only one time, but I did it. So that's kind of a cool, unexpected little benefit of learning something new, is that you have moments like that. I hope you're having moments like that too. Let's try it a little bit faster. We can start working on the tempo now because it seems like we have the notes correct, the rhythms correct. So now the last thing to add in is the tempo. This is moderato. We're going to try it a little bit faster. We don't all of a sudden have to go super fast, but just a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, play. All right, let's try it just a hair faster. If you're not quite ready yet, that's okay. You can pause it, do a couple more run-throughs until you get comfortable playing it a little bit faster. But if you're ready, let's give it a shot. Why not? 1, 2, ready, and. Rest. Okay, sorry about that. Being a music teacher for so many years, I kind of am really good at blocking out extra noise, but then that may have been extremely distracting to you. So let's not finish on that run through. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. D, 1 and 2 and ready and. Rest. All right, that last D was a tiny bit sharp, but overall, I think that was a really good run through. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you in our next lesson.